Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be continuing the FNAF 1 system series with my updated and optimized camera tutorial. This camera system allows you to close the cameras and reopen back to whatever camera you left off on, have multiple pages of cameras, and allows them to move back and forth like they do in FNAF 1. This is by far my best design, and I hope it will help you do whatever you need to do. And with that, let's continue on to the tutorial. So here's how this system works. If we take this item called Open Monitor, and we throw it, it brings us into the camera system that rotates like FNAF 1, and then if we throw camera 2, we get brought to the second camera, and it rotates in the opposite direction and a little bit slower. And if we want to stay on camera 2, and also close the monitor, we just close the monitor, and then we just open it back up to camera 2. And then if we want to go to the second page, we just throw the second page, and we get brought to camera 3 and 4, which are like stationary cameras, so they don't like move around like camera 1 and 2. And yeah, that's basically how the system works. And first off, with building this system, we're gonna need these items. For right now, we'll need an anvil, an item to open the cameras, an item to close the cameras, and then however many cameras you have, that's how many items you'll need of this. And then the same for selected cameras. And then however many pages you have, that's how you need for this. We'll use the command block and stone button later. In order for this system to work, we need to be able to name our items things to make them different colors. If you already know how to name your items different colors, then you can skip to the next section. But for those who don't, I'm going to be showing you how. Coloring text in Minecraft requires the section symbol, with a number or a letter following it. In the top of the description, you can find a link to the Minecraft Wiki with all the color and format codes. And now, on to explain how to type the section symbol. To color text on PC, I've left a link to the top of the description that will bring you to a website where you can just copy and paste the symbol. On console, you need to hover over the paragraph symbol or the pilcrow with the X or A button, depending on Xbox or PlayStation, then scroll to the section symbol and select it in the pop-up. Now on Switch, select the globe icon and scroll to the bottom to find the symbols, and select page 2 to find the section symbol on the bottom line to the right. I hope, because I'm just reading off the Minecraft Wiki. And finally on mobile, find the ampersand symbol and hold it, and then just drag your finger over to the section symbol and release. And that's how you write the section symbol. Now writing the section symbol codes requires a specific number or letter after the said section symbol. I'll only be writing the ones I used to make the text, but you should go mess around with them after this video's done. Okay, let's get back to naming items. So let's place our anvil down and let's open it up. And we're going to start off with the first item, which is going to be the open monitor item. So we're just going to take it up here. And we're going to be removing this text and typing the section symbol and then R. What this does is it makes it so the text, if we type something like, I'm just going to type word as an example. What it does is makes it so it's not slanted anymore. So then if I delete this, as you can see, it's now slanted, but if I type it back, then it's no longer slanted. Now we're going to make it a different color, and the color I'm going to use is E, which will make it a yellow color, and then we're just going to type open monitor. You could also type open camera, but I just prefer open monitor. Then we're going to confirm this. And this is what the item text is going to look like now. As you can see, it says open monitor and in yellow text. Now we're going to do the same thing with the close monitor item. We're just going to bring it up here, do section symbol R, section symbol, and then I'm going to do C to make it a bright red color. I'm going to do close monitor, and I'm going to confirm it. Now for the cameras, this might take a while depending on how many cameras you have. But we're going to bring them all up here at once, and then delete this, make it say section symbol R, section symbol F, make it have white text, and then we're just going to type cam, and then a space. And the reason why is because we're going to take it out now, and now instead of writing that over and over again, we can just spread it out, and then write 01, 02, 03, and 04. We're also going to do the same exact thing with the selected camera items. So we're just going to bring it up here and do section symbol R, section symbol A to make it a lime green color, and then we're just going to type cam one more time and then a space, confirm it, and then 01, 02, 03, and 04. It should look exactly the same, but with green text instead of white text. I'm going to do something a bit different from the example, and I'm going to make this, instead of saying page 1 or page 2, I'm going to type section symbol R, section symbol D, then I'm going to type next page. And then for this one, I'm going to do something similar, but instead of next page, I'm going to type section symbol R, section symbol D, and then previous page. And with all of our items named, we can now bring out the command block and the stone button. And with them, we're going to save our items so we can recall them later and control our camera system. And we're going to start by just placing down this command block and the stone button like this. Now inside this command block, we're going to type structure, save, and then we're going to type the name we want to save our items with. So you'll be using this to recall them later. So I'm just going to name this office, because this is going to be the inventory in the office. Then we're going to do tilde, tilde, 1, tilde, 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 1, tilde. And then next it's going to ask us if we want to include entities, and since items are entities, we're going to type true. We're going to save this to our disks, and then it's going to ask us if we want to include blocks, and we're going to say false, because we want it to be able to be summoned inside of blocks. Now that we have our command set, we can just take the open monitor item, throw it on here, and then just click the button. Pick up our item. As you can see, save the structure with the name my structure office. You won't need to write my structure, you'll just need to write office. It just says my structure. Now we're going to take out the next set of items, and we're going to start with close monitor, and then we're going to take out the selected first camera, which is camera 1, and then the regular camera for camera 2, and then you will continue until the page is full, and then you do next page. Then we're just going to go in this command block and change this from office to cam 1. Then we're going to go on top of it, and we're going to just throw our items down, and we're going to save it as a structure. As you can see, saved with cam 1, and then we're just going to keep doing this. So now we switch out things, and we change this to camera 2. Then we just throw down the items. And there. Then for the next page, we're just going to continue on, and instead of having the next page item, we're just going to put previous page instead. And we're going to change this to camera 3, then throw the items on top, save them. Then we're just going to do it the same for camera 4, so camera 4, then throw the items down, and save. And now we're done. We no longer need this command block and this stone button. I'd also suggest taking out a chest and placing all your items in there for safekeeping. Now, we just saved our items, but now we need to know how to recall them. So we're going to type /structure, load, and then we're going to type the name of our save. So I'm going to type in office, and then I'm going to do @mylocation. And now I have the item open monitor. And as I was saying about the order of the items, it actually does matter. Since I threw them down the right order, if I load this, then it's going to give me them in the exact right order I want. And with that, we can actually start making the camera system now. And first off, we're going to need a scoreboard. So we can start that by typing /scoreboard, objectives, add, and then we're going to type cams, dummy, and then cams, and then enter. Then we're going to type /scoreboard, objectives, set display, sidebar, and then we're going to input cams, and then descending. Now that we have our scoreboard on the side of our screen, we need to put some scores on it. How we can do that is by typing /scoreboard, letters, add, and then now we're going to add our score by naming it. So for the first score, we're going to type cam on, like this, and then we're going to add it to our cams, and we're going to set it to 0 because our camera is not currently on. The next score we're going to add is cam switch. And finally, we're going to add cam selected. we're also going to set this to 1. This is because we cannot have a camera 0. Now we're going to start on the item detection so the system knows when we drop our items. What you're going to need for this part right now is a repeating command block and the redstone comparator. We'll use these 3 later. And first, right now, you're going to want to build out your platform so you have enough room for all of your cameras. Each single camera is 1 block wide. So since I only have 4, I'm just going to place 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to space it out and place 1 more for the closing camera item. Then I'm going to place redstone comparators going out of them. For the first command we're doing, it's going to be the one that detects when you want to open the monitor and your camera is selected to 1. So in this command block, we're going to set this to always active, and then type in the command execute if entity at e type equals item name equals, and then you're going to want to do the quotation marks, and then bring out the section symbol again, and type exactly what you named your open monitor item. So since I did section symbol R, section symbol E, open monitor, and then closing quotation marks. The quotation marks means that this is the name and you are allowed to have spaces in it. I was actually wrong in my first tutorial on the cameras. Then after that, we're going to be doing a closing square bracket followed by an if score ham on hams matches, and then 0 because we're going to be opening the monitor when our camera's not active. Then after that, we're doing if score ham selected hams matches 1 because this is going to be detecting when our camera matches 1 and when we throw the monitor. As you can see, when I throw the item, it powers it, and when I pick up the item, it unpowers it. You're going to want to do this exact same command for the rest of the cameras, but if you're on PC, sadly this is not an option on mobile or console, so you will have to write them out by hand each time. But if you're on PC, you can just press Control Pick Block, which is the middle mouse button, and then just break all these and place them down, because this now has data and will store whatever command you put inside. So now, as you can see, it's the same exact command, and you're just going to want to go in it and change this to whatever camera is next. So that's 2, this is 3, and this is 4. Now with all of these done, we're going to move on to closing the monitor, and we're just going to type in the exact same thing with an always active command block. We're just going to type execute if entity at e type equals item name equals quotation mark section symbol R section symbol C close monitor ending quotation mark followed by a closing square bracket if score ham on hams matches 1 because we're going to be using this when the cameras are on, so we can go back to them being off, and then if score ham switch hams matches 0 because we don't want it to be able to close the monitor while the cameras are switching. And that is the item detection system. Now we're going to add a tag, the tag being the guard tag because we only want this stuff to happen to the guard. And how we add tags is by doing /tag, and then you can do whatever player you want. I'm just going to do myself, and then you're going to add, and then you're just going to do guard. Now you have the guard tag. Now instead of the repeating command block and the comparator, we're going to pull out the command block, the chain command block, and the redstone repeater. And now we're going to place a redstone repeater like 1, 2 on all of these. Now that it's all like this, we're going to take a command block and place it here and type clear at a tag equals guard because we only want this to affect the guard. Then you're just going to take this and place it all along here. These should all be clearing the guard. Now we're going to load the structure to our guard, and we're going to do that by placing a command block right here on the first camera and typing inside of it execute at e or at a tag equals guard run structure load, and then you're gonna do cam 1 at their position like this. You're just gonna take this and do it all across your cameras. They should now be all loading their specific camera. We're not gonna do the same over here, except instead of cam 1 we're just gonna do office. And finally, we're gonna be taking a command block and placing it on this last spot and typing scoreboard players, set cam on cams to 1. Take this and do it all along your cameras. We're then going to do the same thing over here, except instead of making it so it sets the camera to 1, then it sets it to 0 so the cameras are now off. Congratulations, your item summoning system is now complete. But if we just leave it like this, if you take your open monitor item and throw it, you're just going to keep getting the same items over and over again. Until it keeps doing that over and over again, until it just breaks. The way we fix this is by grabbing a repeating command block, a redstone comparator, and a command block, placing down the repeating command block with a redstone comparator and then a command block going out of it, and then typing into the repeating command block, execute if entity at e type equals item, and then setting this to always active. And then this one, we're going to set it to kill at e type equals item. The reason for this is because the comparator gives a little bit of time for the rest of the system to actually detect the item before it kills it. So now if we try and throw this item, as you can see, it now works correctly. To take this one step above, we don't want to be able to look around in our office while we're on the cameras, because we won't be able to see anything in our office. And the way we fix this is by taking a chain command block, placing it on our command blocks right here, and typing in it input permission, set at a tag equals guard, camera disabled. And just take this and put it across your cameras. And because we want to be able to move our camera in the office, we're just going to take this and place it here and make it so instead of it being disabled, it's enabled. And if I take the monitor and I throw it, I can no longer move my mouse. And once I throw it, I can now look around. Now that we're done with the opening system, we're going to move on to doing the system that allows us to select different cameras. And we're going to start this by once again placing repeating command blocks all along our cameras. And then placing redstone comparators connecting out of them. Then after that, we're going to be taking redstone repeaters and placing them all along our cameras like this. We're also then going to take a command block, place it here, and type in it clear at a tag equals guard. And then do this all across this. This row is going to be the exact same as this row because we're just summoning the items back to the guard. And next we're going to be placing down command blocks right here and then putting inside them scoreboard, players, set, cam, selected, cams, and we're going to set it to the camera that we are currently on. So then this camera right now is camera 1. I'm going to be setting this to camera 1. We're going to be doing this all along here for each of the cameras, so this one would be camera 2, this one would be camera 3, and this one would be camera 4. Now on top of this row of command blocks, we're going to be placing a chain command block, and in that chain command block, we're going to type scoreboard, players, set, cam, switch, on cams, to 1, and then we're going to take this, place it on this row right here, and make it so it sets back to 0. The reason why is because we're summoning items, and we don't want the rest of the system to be able to detect those items while we're summoning it before we can pick them up. And we're just going to be copying this block all across here, and that one all across here. They should be the exact same command, except this row is setting it to 1, and this one is setting it to 0. And now finally, inside of the repeating command blocks, we're going to set this to always active, and then we're going to type execute if entity at e type equals item name equals, and then we're just going to do the names we did for our cameras. So that would be section symbol R, section symbol F, cam O1 closing quotation mark, followed by a closing square bracket with an if score, cam on, cams, matches, and we're going to make it so it matches 1 because we want the cameras to be on when we switch them. And then we're going to make it so it sets it to if score, cam, switch, on cams, matches, 0, because we don't want to be able to switch this camera while we're already switching to a camera. This is going to be the exact same command all across, except we're just changing the number of the cam. Now if we open our monitor and we throw our items, now as you can see we can switch cameras. But if we throw the green item, as you can see, it just disappears. And the way we fix this is by taking this system right here and just making it over here. These 3 rows of command blocks are the same as the over here, but this one's different. The only change that we have to make is just changing this, instead of F, make it A. Now it's green. Now as you can see, when we throw the monitor, now we can throw the green item, and it just brings it right back to us. Now we just have to make it so we can swap pages. And the way we start is by doing the exact same thing over again. We just place a command block, place a redstone comparator, command block, chain command block, redstone repeater right there, then another command block, then a command block and a chain command block. And then just do that on this side as well. These are going to be our 2 page switchers, and we're going to start off with the repeating command blocks. Inside of them, we're going to set this to always active, and then we're going to type execute if entity @e type equals item name equals quotation mark section symbol R section symbol D, and then we're going to type next page ending quotation mark and then closing square bracket. Then if score ham on hams matches 1, because this is going to be when the cameras are on, and then if score cam switch cams matches 0, because we don't want to do this while the cameras are switching, and it's going to be the exact same in this. We're just going to set this to always active, and then we're going to type execute if entity @e type equals item name equals, and then quotation mark section symbol R section symbol D previous page ending quotation mark closing square bracket, followed by an if score ham on hams matches 1, because we want to do this when the camera's on. Then if score ham switch hams matches 0, because once again we do not want to do this while the cameras are switching. This row right here is going to be the exact same as all the other rows. For our next page command block, we're going to be doing the first camera of our second page. So for me, that would be camera 3. So I'm going to go to camera 3, take this structure, and then I'm going to place it here. The same with previous page. I'm just going to go to the first camera of the first page, which is camera 1, and I'm just going to take this structure, and I'm going to place it here. I'm then going to need each of their scores that select their camera, and then we can just take any of the ones that set camera switch to 0, and then we just replace them like this. So next page should load the first camera on the second page, and make it so it selects that camera on the scoreboard, and previous page should do the same for page 1. Now if we take the open monitor and throw it, now we can throw the next page and be brought to camera 3 and 4. And still we can close the camera and then go straight back to camera 4 or camera 3. And we can throw them and get the green item back. Congratulations, you now complete an item summoning and switching system. But now it's time to make this item summoning and switching system into an actual camera system. And the first thing to do being making one final score. And that score being /scoreboard players set cam spin timer, and we're going to set it to our cams, and we're going to set this to 61. Now we're going to take out a repeating command block, an armor stand, a stone button, a command block, and a chain command block. Right here off to the side, we're just going to place this command block right here, and then inside of it we're going to type scoreboard players set cam spin timer cams, and we're going to set it to 61. Then we're just going to place a button right here. This is going to be the system that resets our camera's rotation. Now we're going to take out the armor stand and place 1 down for as many cameras as you have. So since I only have 4 cameras, I'm going to place down 4 armor stands. Then you're just going to go up to each of them and then tag them with /tag @e type equals exclamation point player R equals 1, and then we're going to add, and then start with cam 01. Then we're just going to add this. Now this is camera 1, and we're just going to go through all of these, naming them camera 2, camera 3, and camera 4. Now we're gonna find our camera positions. Make sure to keep in mind that your camera will be inside this little hole in their chest. Something else to keep in mind when you're rotating your camera armor stands, you're gonna wanna make it face where your camera's rotating from. So say I wanted it to start here and then rotate over here and then back, I'd make it face this direction. It's gonna look a little weird, but we're gonna fix it. The same would go for stationary cameras, except you just look the way you want to look. I now have all my coordinates with their directions, and you're just going to want to put them in like this, so you're teleporting the specific camera to the specific location, and you're just making it in a stack. Now if we click this button, all of them teleport to their locations, but as you can see they're not floating in the air. How we fix this is by taking a repeating command block, going in front of the specific camera, and placing it down, and typing inside of it. After saying it to always active, we'll just type execute at E type equals armor stand tag equals cam, and then you're gonna do the specific camera. So since this one is camera 1, I'm gonna do camo 1. Then I'm just gonna close the square bracket. Then I'm gonna type run TP at E type equals armor stand, comma, tag equals cam 01, and then I'm going to insert my coordinates of the camera, and then I'm going to put tilde tilde. This means it will face whatever direction it's currently facing. Now if we exit out of this, the armor stand now floats in the air. You're just going to want to do this, but with all of your cameras. Now as you can see, all of the armor stands are now floating. And now we're going to make it so it actually sets our camera to the armor stands. How you're going to want to do this is by taking a repeating command block, placing it down, saying it to always active again, and then typing inside of it, execute at E tag equals cam 01 because of the first camera, if score cam on cams matches 1 because we want the camera to be on, and then if score cam selected cams matches 1 because this is the first camera, run camera at A tag equals guard set Minecraft :free pose, which means position, and then we're going to write tilde tilde 1 tilde, which means our camera will be teleported to the armor stand and then 1 block above its feet, and then rot, which means rotation, and this next number is the up and down coordinate, where we're going to be either looking up and down. I'm going to set mine to 10. You can do whatever works best for your camera. I was just testing it out. Anyways, the next thing we're going to do is a tilde, and this is the command. And finally, right here, we're going to place down a repeating command block, set it to always active, and then type inside of it, execute if score cam on cams matches 0, because this is when the camera's off, run camera at A tag equals guard, and we are going to set it to clear because this is when the cameras are off and we don't want to be looking at the cameras. Now if we take the monitor and we throw it, it brings us into our camera, and if we throw close monitor, it brings us back and clears our camera so we can see. We're just going to do this exact thing for the rest of the cameras. Now if we open the cameras, as you can see, now all of our cameras are completely done. The only thing we have left to do is make them spin. We're going to start by taking a repeating command block, placing it down, and then not saying it to always active yet, but we're going to type inside of it, scoreboard, players, remove, cam, spin, timer, on cams, and we're going to remove 1. Then we're going to set this to delay in 2 ticks. Then we're going to place on top of this repeating command block, set this one to always active, do not change the delay in ticks, and then type inside of it, execute if score cam spin timer cams matches period -51, which means if it matches -51 or below it, it's going to execute the command. Then we're going to type run scoreboard players set cam spin timer cams, and we're going to set it to 60. Now if we activate this one by saying it to always active, as you can see, it's going to start making the timer go down. Once it reaches -51, it's then going to reset back to 60. Basically, when the timer is in the positives, it's going to spin one way, but when it's in the negatives, it's going to spin the other way. You can make it stop doing this by just setting this to needs redstone, and then pressing the reset button. Next up, we're going to take a repeating command block, place it here, and then type inside of it, after setting it to always active, execute at e tag equals cam01 if score cam spin timer cams matches ... 50 if score cam spin timer cams matches 5 ... which means that if the score is between 5 and 50, it's going to execute the command. Then we're going to type run tp at e tag equals cam01 tilde 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 tilde, and then we're going to set the rotation speed, and I'm going to set mine to 0.5, and then tilde. This means if cam spin timer is between 50 and 5, it's going to rotate our armor stand. Then you can just copy this command block, place it on top of it, and then change this 50 to -5, and then this 5 to -50. And finally, change whatever number you set to a negative. This means that when cam spin timer is between -5 and -50, it's just going to spin it the other way back to the first position. As you can see, when we set this to always active now, the armor stand is now moving back and forth. This is what it looks like on the cameras. This is how we're going to rotate our cameras, and you can just copy these for all of the cameras. Something else you can do is change this to a negative number and have it rotate the opposite direction from other cameras. Just make sure to change this one as well. With our cameras now done, we just need to make it so the armor stands are invisible so we don't see them. The way we do this is actually really simple, and we just go up to them and type /tag at e type equals not player, comma r equals 1, add invis, and we're just going to add this to all of our armor stands. Then what we do next is take a repeating command block, place it down, set it to always active, and then effect at e tag equals invis with invisibility, and we're going to set it to 1, 1, and then true. Now if we just type /scoreboard objectives set display sidebar, then our scoreboard is now gone and our cameras are complete. Now when I throw the open monitor item, it brings me into the cameras, and if I throw camera 2, then it brings me to camera 2. If I throw next page, it brings me to camera 3, camera 4. If I close the monitor and I open it again, it will then bring me back to camera 4. Then we can throw previous page to go back to page 1. And we can throw a close monitor. And yeah, that's our camera system. Thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope this tutorial can help you create whatever you want to create. The final video of this series is going to be about the FNAF 1 time and power mechanic, which actually connects to this tutorial and the last one. Feel free to ask any questions about this system in the comments. I will be responding to all of them. But before I end this though, I'd like to mention that the item summoning and switching system can be used for more than cameras. I'm not going to tell you how to use it, but you can make really cool things with it. With that, thank you for watching and have a good day.